Hello everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. Just in case we haven't met before, my name is Rachel. Today we're doing a full body flow. I'm gonna hold on to 2 blocks a little bit today. Find some space to move though, and let's get started. So we're going to begin today in tabletop, so on our hands and knees. And if you have a couple blocks to use today, just have them off to the side for now, maybe one on either side of your mat, and we'll kind of move them around a little bit today. But starting in tabletop for sure. Spread your fingers wide, press your palms into the ground, maybe give your hips a little bit of a sway side to side. And then start to move your shoulders too. Kind of draw some circles maybe, or half circles around your wrists. And just keep those fingers spread wide. And just move slowly and in a way that feels good for you. If you are making a full circle, you can switch direction as much as you'd like. You can be back a little bit. You can move the shoulders forwards a little bit, whatever feels good on your wrists. And also feeling your hips a little bit as well. But just another moment here. Before we come back through center and maybe replant the hands, you can tuck your toes under and lift on up to downward facing dog. Press into your hands, maybe pedal your feet, and take a slower breath in. And let that breath go. And again, breathe in slowly and let it go. And maybe one more time, a slow, deep breath in and out. Take another inhale, but gaze forwards this time. And as you exhale, walk your feet to the top of your mat. Taking an inhale for a half lift once you get there. And as you exhale, folding forwards. Inhale as you come all the way up to standing, reaching up. And exhale as you lower your arms down. You can add a shoulder roll. And inhale as you reach up, exhale, folding forwards. Take an inhale to lift halfway. And exhale to fold forwards. Inhale all the way up, reach up. Exhale as you lower your arms. Feel free to add your shoulder roll. And then inhale as you reach up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale into your half lift. And exhale to fold down. Let's plant our hands, step the feet back into downward facing dog. Push into your hands, maybe pedaling the feet, and a slow and deep breath in and out. Do that again, a nice slow breath in and out. One more time, fill up with air. And let everything go. Awesome, you guys. Take another inhale to look forwards. And as you exhale, walk your feet back up to the top of your mat. Taking an inhale to lift halfway. And exhale to fold forwards. Inhale, come all the way up, reach up. And exhale, lower your arms to your side. Maybe a shoulder roll here, but you can start to float your toes if you can, pressing into all 4 corners of your feet, trying to float the toes. And then maybe you drop your toes down, use them as little claws, and get a little lighter through your heels, Maybe lift the heels a little more, a little bit more. Fire up those ankles. Start to concentrate. And then let your heels come on down. And take an inhale as you reach up. With the exhale, fold forwards. Inhale into a half lift. And exhale to fold forwards. Now let's plant our hands. We're going to take just the left foot back, setting up a lunge. Your knee can come down. You can rest on the top of the back foot as well. Now maybe you've got a couple blocks to hold on to. Just have one on either side of your front foot, front leg. But we might just have the chest lifted up a little bit. Again, kind of nice to hold on to something. We're just going to try to float the toes, but press into the ball of the foot. Instead of lifting the ball of the foot and the toes, can you lift just your toes? All the while sinking into your hips to feel that left hip flexor. Now you can drop your toes, start to push them into the ground, and see if your heel wants to lift a little bit. What do you got to squeeze to lift that heel? And push into the ball of the foot and the toes. And maybe the heel can lift just a little bit more, but then you can bring it down. If you are using your blocks, just scooch them to the side. Maybe the hands can find the ground. Take an inhale to look forwards. And as you exhale, bring your back foot up to the top of your mat. Taking an inhale for a half lift. And exhale to fold. Plant your hands and take your right foot back. If you find the blocks useful, grab them. If not, that's fine too. But set up a lunge where you can sink into that right hip, where you feel balanced, and maybe in a place where you can float your toes and push the ball of the foot into the ground. So some effort there to float those toes and push the rest of the foot down. Remember to sink those hips forward. Then you can drop your toes and try to lift the heel a little bit. Maybe just a micro little hover. Maybe it doesn't want to leave the ground. Maybe it's just the thought of it. Or maybe you surprise yourself and that heel lifts higher than you think it might. Nice work, you guys. Drop your foot down, whatever happens to be lifted. Maybe scooching those blocks to the side again. From your lunge, though, take an inhale to look forwards, and as you exhale, bring your back foot to the top. Take an inhale to lift halfway, and exhale to fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, reach up, and exhale, lower your arms down to your sides. Awesome work, you guys. We're gonna step out wide. So I'm just gonna turn, grabbing my blocks. I'm gonna bring my blocks to the middle of my mat. We're going to bring our feet nice and wide, so as wide as you possibly can go. Maybe turning those toes forwards, maybe even in slightly. So maybe you've got your blocks kind of in the middle between your feet. You can bring the hands to the hips to start though. Bring some length into your spine. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, we can start to lean forward. Maybe your hands come down to the ground or to your blocks. But I want you just to see, can you float your toes? Pushing all the other areas of your feet down, and maybe those toes are floating. You can drop your toes, maybe just try to shift your weight forwards and back a touch to see if you can find a place, your hands holding on to something, or maybe your heels will lift and just press into your feet, the balls of the feet, lift your heels, and then lower them down. So our feet are planted, they're flat, and we're gonna fold. Let your upper body be heavier. Now, if you've got some blocks to use today, or not, you don't have to have blocks. We can, though, reach our arms forwards. So we're reaching, so that as we let our chest, our head tip down and down, we might feel our shoulders. You can try to float your toes from here, again, pressing the rest of the feet down. You can try to drop those toes, and then maybe you have to shift forwards a touch to float the heels. But if you shift forwards a touch, reach forwards more too. Drop the heels down so the entire foot of both feet are planted, and maybe you can let your upper body get a little bit heavier. Awesome work, you guys. If you are reaching your arms forward, just slide them back in. Maybe bring the blocks with you too. Lift your chest, maybe halfway up, bend your knees a little bit, and then take an inhale to come all the way up to standing. You can heel toe your feet together. You can step them back together. If you did turn on your mat though, you can come back to the top of it and maybe bring your blocks just one on either side again. But let's stand tall, bring your feet together. As you inhale, reach up, and exhale, folding forwards. Take an inhale to lift halfway. And as you exhale, fold, plant your hands. Now we're gonna take our left foot back, and we're gonna see if we can keep that knee lifted this time. You can drop the knee if you want to, but maybe we can keep it lifted. So feel free to bring your blocks back in to hold on to. And then we're going to send our hips back a little bit here. So straightening through the front leg. So our back heel, if you have the knee lifted, it's probably lifted to that back heel, but you can try to drop it towards the ground, stretch that calf a little bit. If your knee is on the ground, this is more of a half split. So just relax your back leg, straighten your front leg, hold on to your blocks if you want to hold on to your blocks. But with our front leg straight, we're pushing our foot down. Maybe down until we can float just the toes. Maybe we drop our toes and we try to lift the heel. And squeeze what you gotta squeeze to do that. And then let your heel come back down. And maybe let your chest get closer to your knee. Now you can start to shift your weight forwards again, bending back into the front knee. So you're in a lunge. Take an inhale to look forwards. And as you exhale, bring your back foot to the top. Take an inhale for just a half lift. And as you exhale, fold, plant the hands, and take your right foot back. So you can decide if your knee is going to stay lifted or if you want to bring it down. But notice that back heel. If that knee is lifted, let's try to drop that heel down, but it's probably going to stay lifted too. Start to send the hips back as you lengthen your front leg. Hold on to whatever you want to hold on to. But the front foot, pushing the toes down, the ball of the foot, the heel, and everything in between. Until maybe just the toes can float. Dropping the toes and maybe trying to hover that heel. Squeeze what you gotta squeeze. Soften what you can soften. And then lower your heel. Press the foot into the ground. And maybe let your chest get closer to your knee. You can take another breath and then start to shift forwards again, back into your lunge. From your lunge, take an inhale to look forwards, and as you exhale, bring your back foot up. Maybe scoot your blocks off to the side out of the way. Inhale into a half lift though, and as you exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, reach up, and exhale, lower your arms to your sides. Maybe start to float those toes one last time. Drop the toes, maybe try to float those heels as high as you possibly can. Maybe this one is a little bit easier than all those other weird variations we took. But if you find the wobbles, the shakes, that's perfect. Drop your heels down, take an inhale to reach up, and exhale to fold all the way down. As you inhale, lift halfway, and exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step on back to your downward facing dog, and take a big push into your hands. Let your head, your chest be heavy, maybe a pedal through your feet. Stay for an inhale. And as you exhale, lower your knees down to your tabletop, where you might sneak in a little sway side to side. You might think more about the shoulders than the hips, drawing those circles around your wrists. We're just moving slowly. And in whatever way feels good for you. Switching directions if you need to switch directions. But eventually coming back through center. You can cross your ankles and take a seat, bringing your legs in front. Maybe giving your knees a hug or a squeeze. Take a rock or a sway side to side. And then we're going to lay it down on our backs. So you can just keep your blocks off to the sides. Lay down, maybe hugging your knees to your chest. Maybe rocking side to side here. If you do want to move into happy baby from here, you might reach for the feet. Bring your knees wide. Maybe you stay here a little longer, or letting the knees stay wide, you could let your feet come back together. Now maybe it's the big toes. You could kind of point the feet a little bit, maybe connecting the big toes together. Maybe you bring the soles of the feet together, the heels, the balls of the feet, and the toes, leaving your knees wide. And take just another breath here. And then guide your knees back together. Take a rock or sway side to side. And eventually let your feet find the ground. And slide your legs out long. Resting your arms wherever is comfortable. And enjoying a few moments here in Shavasana. As always, I encourage you to stay here for as long as you have time for. But thank you for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time, namaste.